Hi there, it's Ronnie. Welcome to this channel. Thanks for watching this video. In this video, what I want to show you is how to play the Beatles song In My Life on acoustic guitar. So it is a guitar song. It was on the album Rubber Soul, I believe, and it has been at times rated sometimes as the best Beatles song, or very high up in terms of how great a song it is. And it wasn't a single. It's probably not even in the top 20 most famous Beatles songs or most played songs, because it's an album track. But it's, despite its how short and simple it may seem, there's a lot of sophistication musically in it. So it's a brilliant song. The chord changes took me a little while to work out when I first came across the song. And I can't remember if I had to go to another source to look up the chords, I can't remember. But it does a few things that you just rarely ever see in other songs and other songwriters doing, but it doesn't do it in such a way that it sounds forced or sounds strange. There's a lot of music that does a lot of weird stuff and unusual things and innovative stuff, but it sounds weird, you know, it sounds different, it sounds like it doesn't quite fit. And that's the difference with what they could do, with what really great songwriters and musicians can do, is they can do things that are extremely advanced and sophisticated and complex, but you wouldn't even realise it. It's just a piece of music you're enjoying listening to. So let's start off. The song is in the key of G. Okay, so you're starting off, let's get closer here just so you can see this. You're starting off with the G chord, whichever way you want to play it. Now the introduction is played, there's a number of instruments. I don't want to go too much into the introduction, but there is a melody line that goes, sorry, that's wrong. And you could play that so you can do a complex thing like that. But basically the introduction is just G and D7. And then you come into the verses. So we start on G. There are places. Then we're descending down to E minor. Now there's a number of different names for what this chord in the middle is. You can call it a G with an F sharp on the bass. It's just a bridging chord from one chord to the other. Sometimes you can do it with a D on the bass. Yeah, it's like a D inversion. There's a number of different terminologies for it, but you probably know what it is if you play guitar. Okay, so that's fairly standard in songwriting, fairly standard. If you're playing guitar, that descent down. It's the next chord that makes this progression so unusual, because you're starting in G, E minor. The next chord is so unusual, and it works perfectly. It goes to a G7 chord, which is just so, you just don't get that. You don't get songs that are in G, they start off in G and then G7's there. And it really needs to be that G7 sound. doesn't sound right if you just go back to the G. There are places I remember, and it just kind of takes you by surprise, and it causes musically like a kind of conundrum, a puzzle, like we've just went off into a different place. How are we going to get back to where we started? Well, we go to the C, and then a really clever chord change, C minor, which is at the 3rd fret. It's like the A minor shape at the 3rd fret bar chord, and that leads us back to G. And that is basically the sequence there. Says I remember, C all my life, C minor high. Though some have changed, not for better, some have gone and some remain. So that's a great chord change as well, from the C to the C minor. Once again, it's kind of rarely used, really. So that's the verses, and it repeats that twice. And then it goes into the kind of chorusy bit. All these places have their moments. So it's like E minor, A7, and then it goes to F, then G. So 2 of those chords are not in the key of G. So once again, you've got the G7, which isn't in the key of G. The song's mostly in the key of G, but the G7 takes it out temporarily. The C minor isn't in the key of G. The F isn't in the key of G, and the A7 isn't in the key of G. So it's going in and out, floating in and out of the key of G. With lovers and friends, I still can recall. Repeats that E minor to A7, and then to the C minor. In my life, I've loved them all. So E minor, da, 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 da. So that's basically the whole song. There's a solo that's on a kind of harpsichord sounding thing, which is just the this verse chords again, I think. But that is basically the entirety of the song, so we'll play the whole thing for you. There are places I remember all my life. There's some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, some remain. All these places have their moments. With lovers and friends, I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. So brilliant song, so sophisticated in the way that the chords go in and out, float in and out of the key, the melody follows with it, it all comes back to the G, really nice, you know, and most people that would listen to that wouldn't think, they just think, oh, it's a simple, you know, pop song, Beatles song. But I hope you got something out of that, and feel free to share the video if you think it will help someone else. And most of this channel is really just my own music and some covers. But if you'd like to see more of this stuff, feel free to comment or ask questions about music or chords or guitar or anything else. And you can follow me on Instagram at Ronnie Songs. I put stuff on Instagram every day as well. So, thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like it.